Hi, everyone. I'm here with Kathleen Rude, who is a senior facilitator of the Work That Reconnects. And we just wanted to hop on and talk a little bit about the Work That Reconnects and why we were both motivated to offer this workshop retreat at this time. So Kathleen's been doing it for how long have you been doing it now?
Started in 2008.
Wow. So quite a while. So she probably has a lot of stories. But for someone who's brand new to the Work That Reconnects, how would you describe what this work is?
Yes, thanks, Laura Rose, for doing this. The work that reconnects is an interactive group process. So we're coming together we're showing up as our authentic selves with whatever we're carrying and concerned about, and are able to come together through meaningful dialogue and sharing, through ritual, some engaged teachings, to be able to ground ourselves in gratitude, what nourishes us, have an honest space for speaking our truth about what's breaking our heart in our lives and in the world. And then we expand out to have a rich experience of our interconnectedness to all life on this planet, to each other, to our capacity to bring about change. And then we step into that place of going forth of like, what is mine to do in this next moment? So it's a process that helps us to, we talk about transform that sense of despair and powerlessness into a sense of being connected and empowered to do what it is that we're called to do.
Yeah, so beautiful. Yeah, I was able to do Kathleen's online workshop and it was really beautiful, really powerful work, and I can't wait to do it in person. Um, can you share a memorable moment or maybe a story from another workshop that you facilitated?
Yes, the one that really sticks with me and I talk about often is a woman coming to a workshop totally burned out and feeling this heavy burden of there are so many things that she was caring about and not really being able to figure out um, where to put her energies. And she was loving her work with transgender youth, and that really filled her up. And she was so frightened about the climate crisis that she was also doing a lot of work there. When we stepped back and in this process, looking at like what makes you come alive, and able to give herself permission to say, my work with the transgender youth is what makes me come alive, and that's how I'm participating in what we call the great turning in this, our movement to create a just regenerative world. And so she left there um, excited about the ways that she was able to make a change and be able to see if there were ways that she could work in the climate crisis in ways that were not so draining, and that allowed her to show up in some way, but not have to feel like she had to do it all. So that's what I love about this work, is that people come into it uh, despondent, fearful, feeling less than, and they leave the space, uh, with a sense of their ability to make a difference. And that's what this work is about. We don't have the answers for fixing and solving everything. That's not why we come to a workshop, to figure out the strategies for dealing with racial injustice or climate change. But if this is uh, it's inner work, and being able to find that resilience to keep showing up when things are breaking our hearts, and there's just so much beauty at the same time.
Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, I know for me, when I was in my workshop with you, there were like activists and people that were actively working in climate science. And here I was like this healer, body worker, what's my role? And I came out feeling like, no, what I do actually is a part of the great turning. And
Mhm.
um, so it personally left me with a lot more, um, it's like peace, inner peace in myself that like I'm doing what I can, I'm playing my piece. And it was really inspiring. So I think we all have a piece, we all have a gift to give in this great turning. And workshops are a really great place for people to get in touch with that. And,
Mhm.
can you tell me a little bit more about how we can kind of come out of the despair and into more of a place of hope? Because I think there's so many people feeling
Mhm.
hopeless and powerless right now.
Mhm. For me, the brilliance of the work and the real gift of this work is the part that we talk about called honoring our pain. And this is through ritual and through teaching, we provide a space to be able to give voice or embody these feelings that we have of our fear, of our grief, of that sense of hopelessness, or our righteous anger. And in that process of letting it move through us and being witnessed in it, we realize we don't get trapped in those feelings. When we're told, "Oh, it's okay," don't just be happy, or uh, if we feel like as change makers, it's not okay to feel hopeless, that just shuts us down. But when we allow our emotions to move through us and be witnessed, we find that we create more space within ourselves for their partner emotion. And so if you think about it, we grieve what it is that we love. Right? And so if we're afraid to touch that grief, we're also limiting our ability to love fully. And so we find that this is the transformative magic, if you will, of this honoring our pain, where it's an image that I love to use is of a campfire. And so the logs in the campfire are our fear, grief, overwhelm, despair, and it's feeding the flames of our love, our passion for justice, our courage, and yeah, and our love.
Mm, so beautiful. Yeah, I think it can feel scary when there is so much pain or grief that people don't want to go into it. And
Mhm.
I imagine that the group energy really supports people in tending to their pain in a way that's hard to do when they're on their own. And that's one of the benefits of coming together for
Yes.
something like this.
And to also know that we create a space of um, a safe space in the sense that you participate as you feel called.
Yeah.
And no one's required to share in any of these processes. I mean, you show up as you are and you participate in as many ways as you can. But it is always people's choice for how much they share or not.
Oh, that's so important for creating safety.
Mhm.
Um, so what else can you tell me or those who are listening about what they might expect to experience during the workshop?
Mm. This is an interactive experience, so it's not we're sitting down and listening to me talk. We are engaging with each other, and so I would say come prepared to connect with what's true for you, and how you're feeling. Again, remembering that we're not here to fix or solve the problems. We're here to understand how we can be present and empowered in a time of great challenge, um, and gratitude. So this will be an experience of holding the and that I can be grateful and joyful, and my heart can be breaking, and I can be enjoying a great meal and raging about the injustices in the world. We're holding that space, and that's the resilience of being able to um, move forward in this time and not be shut down. So we step into our place of imagination in this work. There is some creative play, and there's beautiful ritual, um, a lot of group work and small group work. So, and for the introverts out there, I mean, this is also a place of, again, we show up as we can, but there's a lot of the like one-on-one work with people as opposed to just big sharing in a group. So we want to hold how everybody shows up uh, in this kind of interactive experience.
Wow, it sounds like there's so much space for people to really show up as they are. And yeah, it just sounds so beautiful. Um, so I think we've already talked about this, but anything else you want to say about how this work can help people with their feelings of powerlessness and overwhelm?
One of the things that empowers us the most is coming together and being in community. So a workshop experience allows us, if nothing else, to spend 2 days with other people who care deeply about this world that we live in and are willing to show up uh, and be authentic about that. And so when you come to this workshop, one of the things um, you'll come away with as a gift is that realizing you're not alone.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with you for caring so deeply and being so concerned. And when we come together in community, uh, new things happen. That's where things emerge that we can't even imagine. And so there's a place of making connection. And that just feels nurturing and supportive in and of itself.
Oh, absolutely. Especially in that last phase of the work, the spiral, or it's not really the last because it's a spirals, right? So we keep going back in, but the going forth to feel like you're going forth not alone, but with a whole community. And I
Mhm.
imagine that you've probably seen some amazing connections happen through your workshops and online, both online and in person, where people have stayed in touch and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, and that's with in person, the benefits are most likely a lot of the people coming to this workshop are going to be local folks, so people be able to stay connected that way. But even in my online courses, people from around the world, have stayed connected and and continuing to resource each other. So and there is a greater Work That Reconnects network that uh, I talk about in the workshop as well, where people can continue to stay engaged in this work and again connect with people from all over the world doing this work and sharing this work. So,
Amazing. Amazing. Well,
so
thank you for,
I'm very excited for this workshop in Boulder and in collaboration with the Joanna Macy Center at Naropa University. That's where this workshop's going to be held. Uh, and working with you, Laura Rose, it's going to be a wonderful experience. So I hope those of you listening can find your way there. We'd love to see you.
thank you so much for your time today. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to Kathleen or I.